All right, Shalom. Once again, out here on the highways and byways, Lord willing, this will be edifying. Okay, giving all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kapidash, and double honor style to the apostle, great millstone, and all the Akim throughout the four corners, pushing his word in truth and sincerity. I'm gonna grab this article real quick, dealing with the Iranian nuclear scientist that's been killed. All right, well, the last one was killed about a week and a half ago. Let me just turn this on, Salaki. All right, and get into some prophecies, and I had to change location because you know you got the wind blowing, so Lord willing, everything don't go flying away. All right. Yeah, we're commanded now to come out here on the hours and bowers and prophesy, which the word prophet means to say before. If you're not coming out here to warn the flock or warn the people, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians that are on this sign right here, then what good is it? You can call yourself an Israelite all you want, but we have a job to do, okay? We have a job to do. We want to accomplish that job until the end. That's why it says those that endure to the end, the same shall be saved. Okay, I'm going to go into the list of Iranian nuclear scientists assassinated. All right, I'm going to grab, let's go in this one, The Guardian, 1 week ago. And I'm going to go into the scriptures, of course. All right, Iranian scientists, The Guardian, Salaki. Iranian scientists, death only the latest in long line of attacks blamed on Israel, all right? Talking about those gutter rats, all right? And keeps giving me stupid ads over here, Salaki.
Look at a big piece of jersey. Big piece.
Now it says you got to subscribe to it. Earlier I was looking at it. Now it says you got to subscribe to it. Man. All right. Israel maintains a policy. Matter of fact, let's start here. Mohsen Fakhrizadeh may be the most senior Iranian nuclear scientist to have been assassinated, but he is certainly not the first. All right, joining at least 4 others during the past decade. Why is that? Because you know Iran has a nuclear arsenal now, right? They got a nuclear facility. These devils have been trying to stop that and to try to slow down that production of nuclear weaponry, because the scriptures do say the Lord created the smith, the blow, the coals, and the fire. So these Iranians too are created. They're not the wise but the tinker, but they have the capability of creating nuclear weapons, all right, which they have nuclear missiles in their arsenal, all right? But he is certainly not the first, joining at least 4 others during the past decade. In killings, Iran said were aimed at sabotaging its nuclear energy ambitions. It does not acknowledge using the technology for weapons. The country has consistently pointed the finger at Israel, its regional arch foe. Right, all right. Israel maintains a policy of not commenting on such allegations because these devils know that's what they're doing. They're trying to stop Iran from creating this nuclear, being more powerful in their weaponry. That way they won't blow this damn place off the face of the earth, talking about Israel. But all them other countries, such as the Ishmaelites, all right, these Elamites, these Carmanians are going to blow Israel off the face of the earth too. All right, just like along with Russia's going to blow America off the face of the earth. All right, Israel maintains a policy of not commenting on such allegations. Meanwhile, the U.S., which Iran accuses of complicity, has denied accusations. Let's look at that word complicity. Got a demon right there too. Damn devils, man. They come over here to try to be seen, like somebody wants to be. You know what I mean? That's the problem with our people. They want to always be seen, and they're gonna be seen, all right, because the angels are watching everything they doing. All right. Complicity, the state of being involved with others in an illegal activity or wrongdoing. All right. That's how this devil. Now let me grab a scripture right here. That's how this devil takes over lands. He covers fields by violence. But he's doing that strategically, all right? He's trying to kill little by little. He's trying to kill off their nuclear scientists little by little in order to get into that region, all right? And to put a stronger or a stop on Iranian nuclear scientists or the development of nuclear weapons. Okay? Let's go to Micah chapter 2. Woe to them, starting at verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. Talking about the elites, okay? The so-called white man Esau, Edom, the elites of society, okay? Woe to them, and woe means destruction. That devise iniquity, all right? The wicked, crafty devices and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hands. So who aids Israel? America aids Israel, okay? They ate Israel. They're trying to get Iran out of there. They've been trying this for the longest, for decades now, all right? And they cover fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage, all right? So they cover field. They cover somebody else's possession in order to try to get in there little by little. That's what the so-called white man does. He did it with the Native American Indians. Okay, he did it little by little on the west coast of Africa, on the east coast of Africa. All right, with the Judites over there, the Benjamites, the Levites, the Southern Kingdom, and brought us over here little by little. Okay, it's called gradualism. All right, because the Lord gave these devils power during the time of the Renaissance, which Renaissance means rebirth. All right, during the time of the Renaissance period. Okay, and they came back in the power, and look what they have done since they've been in power. They've been stealing and robbing everybody for their possessions. All right, Micah chapter 2 and verse 2. And they cover fields and take them by violence. So that's how the so-called white man is doing. He's taking it by violence. He wants to attempt to take Iran by violence too. And that's why they're throughout the decades killing off these Iranian scientists that study the uranium, whatever that's called, the uranium, the nuclear field of study, okay? And they cover fields and take them by violence in houses and take them away, so they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage. And that's what they're doing with these Iranian scientists, killing them off little by little. That way Iran can't produce the proper nuclear technology to wipe America or Israel off the face of the earth. Okay? Let me go back into the article and I'll grab more scriptures. The Guardian, 1 week ago, published 1 week ago, yeah. Okay, Israel maintains a policy of not commenting on such allegations. Meanwhile, the U.S., which Iran accuses of complicity, right, plotting evil. And that's what America and Israel are doing, plotting evil against Iran. Which Iranians are devils too. They go back to the Elamites or Carmanians. And I'm going to grab those scriptures too. All right, but let me just go all right over here and read this article a little more. The United States, which Iran accuses of complicity, has denied accusations. All right, Israel maintains a policy. Israel has not cited its enemies' pledges to destroy it. It says often without specifics that it has the right to defend itself by blocking Iran from becoming a military nuclear power. Now, you know that Russia backs up Iran. They're a guard unto Iran. Okay? Even some of these EU nations are going to turn their backs on America. We know that Turkey purchased some type of missile or defense system against they purchased it from Russia. All right, so why they got a defense system? Right, because they know all our war will eventually break out. Through time, all our war eventually break out, and that's all written in the prophecies, all in these scriptures. Okay, Israel has long cited its enemies' pledges to destroy it. It says often without specifics that it has the right to defend itself by blocking Iran from becoming a military nuclear power. The country's foreign intelligence agency, Mossad, has a record of using targeted assassination. Let's grab this precept right here. This is I'm gonna grab two of them. This is Sirach chapter 27 and verse 10. The Sirach chapter 27 and verse 10. As a lion lieth in wait for the prey, so sin for them that work iniquity. So right, so this particular line talking about Esau Edom, the so-called white man. All right, he's sending people, according to Israel and all, they're all in cahoots together. They're sending terrorists, which they are, all right, to go terrorize Iranian nuclear scientists. All right, throughout the decades, all right, it's a lion lurking in secret places. They're little by little trying to off every Iranian nuclear scientist or whatever field of study that produces and forwards this nuclear program. All right, so as a lion lieth in wait for the prey, all right, and the prey in this situation is Iran. Okay, they're the prey. So sin for them that work iniquity. Okay, let's grab Psalm 17. Psalm 17 and verse 12. Psalm 17 and verse 12. Like as a lion, all right, like as a lion that is greedy of its prey, and as it were a young lion lurking in secret places. These devils, as like the higher elites, will send the little minions, the little foot soldiers, to go do the dirty work. All right, these young lions lurking in secret places. So Iranian scientists are being caught off guard. All right, Iranian scientists are being caught off guard. All right, Salam. They're being caught off guard and they don't even know what's hitting them little by little. All right, that's how desperate Esau Edom is, greedy for his prey. All right, so I'll read that again. Psalm 17 and 12. Like as a lion that is greedy of its prey. So Iranian scientists, all right, are that prey right now. All right, as it were a young lion lurking in secret places. All right, yeah, you got these little foot soldiers for Esau Edom or the elites working with Israel. All right, them gutter rats, them Amalekites doing their dirty work. All right, so they pretty much put out the hit on these Iranian Iranian scientists and pretty much say, look, man, we got to stop them. Because why? Because they know that World War III is what's that word? Damn it, I forget. But World War III is likely to happen. Even Einstein said that World War IV is going to be fought with sticks and stones, meaning there's not going to be no World War IV. All right, so the Third World War is going to be by fire and fuel. Matter of fact, I'll grab that. By fuel and burning, all right? This is Isaiah chapter 9 and verse 5. Isaiah chapter 9 and verse 5. All right, for every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. All right, yeah, garments rolled in blood. That was a brutal way of fighting too, face to face. All right, with swords. Okay, of course you had your armor on, your buckler, you had your shield or whatever, but you fought face to face, okay? Garments rolled in blood. But this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. So what does that tell you? If the ancient world fought with garments rolled in blood face to face, okay, what is that proving? That it's going to be by ICBM nuclear missiles. Because if you go to the prophecy, Isaiah 54 and 16, it says that the Lord created the smith that broke the coals in the fire. Okay, let's read it. Behold, I have created the smith that broke the coals in the fire. Talking about these German scientists with what's his name? J. Robert Oppenheimer, which is an Amalekite, or one of the wise men of Timan, these German scientists, these physicists, all right, that are considered to be smiths. Of course, you got different kinds and sorts of smith. We're talking about a smith that could create a weapon so powerful like the atomic bomb, all right, and nuclear weaponry like Satan II and all these other nuclear, whatever name they give these missiles. All right, they even got a missile called Moab, okay, M-O-A-B, or Moab, mother of all bombs. All right, and who has that? All right, Moab in their possession. Brothers, correct me if I'm wrong. Is it Ammon or Moab? But either way, they got a bomb called Moab. Okay? So, behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. I have created the waster to destroy. Why? Right now, the Christian church is not going to teach you that the Lord is the one that creates evil, right? So we're going to grab it. Isaiah chapter 45 and verse 7. I form the light, I create darkness, I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, do all these things. Right, so the Lord is saying he's the one that creates evil. Well, you know, contrary to popular belief, you know, the Lord is not a friend of nobody. He's an enemy of this earth, okay? And the so-called Christian church, they teach that the Lord is all about peace and he doesn't hurt nobody. All right, but when you go, I believe 1 Samuel. All right, matter of fact, let me grab that too. I'm jumping all over the place, but let's grab it. Salaki. What are that? 1 Samuel, 2 Samuel? Salaki. First Samuel chapter 2 and verse 6. Salaki. 1 Samuel chapter 2 and verse 6. This 1 Samuel chapter 2 and verse 6. Okay? The Lord killeth and maketh alive. So the Lord is telling you, he kills and he makes alive. He bringeth down to the grave and he bringeth up. So the Lord, the issues of life and death are in the Lord's hands. So the Lord kills and he makes alive. Now the so-called Christian church tells you that the Lord is the friend of everybody, that he doesn't harm or hurt nobody. But he does. All right, he kills and he makes alive. All right, and say it, read it again. The Lord killeth and maketh alive. He bringeth down to the grave and bringeth up. All right, so why? Because the Lord kills and he makes alive, right? Your spirit goes right back to the Heavenly Father. And your body, of course, goes down to the grave or the dirt. All right? So, let's read that again. Isaiah chapter 54 and verse 16. Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work, and I have created the waster to destroy. What's that waster? All right, these ICBM nuclear missiles. That's that waster, all right? And that's why it says USSR, because that USSR spirit, that Soviet Union spirit, is going to be put back in these Russian Edomites, all right, to destroy America. Thus saith the Bible, all right? Back in the ancient world, it was garments rolled in blood. But now, it's talking about a fire, Salaki. It's talking about a fire that's going to take this place out. All right, and it's talking about ICBM nuclear missile. All right, so that's that waster. Let's go to jump to Psalms 7 and verse 13. He hath also prepared for him the instruments of death. He ordaineth his arrows against the persecutors. So those instruments of death are talking about the ICBM nuclear missiles. Okay? This is let's jump to Second Ezra. all of a sudden now you want to get into the Apocrypha. It's giving you these ads, these different ads. You got to wait till the ad. Man, it's crazy, man. These devils are trying everything, and they don't have no power, so they're trying everything they can to try to stop this word from going out there. All right? But they can't do that, all right? The second Ezra, chapter 15 and verse. Let's start at verse 28. Behold, an horrible vision. All right, because our people, our forefathers, all the prophets of old, seen these visions take place. So what was going to happen to America, Babylon, this great whore? All right, this melting pot of all nations. All right, sleeping and committing whoredom, all these other nations sleeping and committing whoredom with America. All right, so verse 28, behold, an horrible vision and the appearance thereof from the east. Right, we're talking about the east, the eastern world. All right, the east. All right, because you know that those that are ruling the earth right now are Esau, Edom, and their main basis here in America, or the powerhouse of the Western Hemisphere, and the powerhouse of the eastern part of the earth is Russia, another group of Edomites. All right, and the appearance thereof from the east. And who else is in the east? Let's read. Where the nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come out with many chariots. All right, they're warlike, they're instruments of war. All right, they're vehicles, they're instruments of war. All right, they're tankers, they're fighter jets, whatever. All right, and the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon earth, that all they which hear them may fear and tremble. All right, the dragons of Arabia are representing these Ishmaelites. Okay, these Ishmaelites. All right, the Arab nations are Ishmael. All right. Also, the Carmanians raging in wrath. Now, if you go into the Iranica encyclopedia or a lot of these other sources, it's going to tell you that Carmania is Elam. Elam are what you call the Persians. Like you had Darius, okay, you had Cyrus the Great, you had Artaxerxes, you had Xerxes, you had Cambyses II, Bardia. But anyway, there was a lot of these Persians, all right? Once they go back to the Elamites, Salaki. Once they go back to the Elamites, all right? And they ruled. When were they taken out? They started ruling the Babylonians around 539 circa into like 323, 332, around there, during the time of Alexander the Great, when he conquered Darius III, all right? Also, the Carmanians raging in wrath, all right? Because these Iranians, these Elamites still have that warlike spirit too, like they did back in the ancient world. The Lord, why? Because the Lord is going to put it in them, okay? He's gradually building up these nations to go against America, okay? Also, the Carmanians, these Elamites, these East Indians, India too, okay, raging in wrath shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood. And you know what I was thinking too? That you got all these, like the scripture saying Obadiah, right? That those that are confederate with thee have laid a wound under thee. All these different nations that America is affiliated with or allies with, they're gonna turn their back on America. Although India got some certain, what they call good relations with America, all right, trading and stuff like that. But India has a very strong military too when it comes to their military and their nuclear weapons. They have a very strong line of weapons. Okay, so they're gonna turn their back. Which India is also Elam, okay, or the Carmanians, or these Elamites, or these Persians, which would be Iranians. All right, but either way, they go back to Elam. Okay, also the Carmanians raging in wrath shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood, and with great power shall they come. Why that great power? Because they got that military strength now, that military might. So America is not the only ones that have that oh damn, I gotta put on airplane mode, Salaki. So America is not the only one that has that military might. All right, these other nations have it too. All right, matter of fact, let me grab that. This is Joel chapter 3. Matter of fact, let's start at, no, let's grab what I wanted first. This Joel chapter 3 and verse 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war, these other nations, okay? Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up, all these different nations, okay? So it's the sound of war is in the land, okay? Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Now, those are agricultural instruments or tools. Now, you know that America spends billions and billions of dollars on their defense system yearly, okay? They've been spending a lot of money on their defense system. Okay, of course they agriculture too, but why do you think they're spending a lot of money on their defense system or so-called defense system or weapons? All right, because war will soon break out. All right, because war will break out. All right, it's going to break out. Joel chapter 3 and verse 9. Verse 10, beat your plowshares into swords. All right, so your plowshares, your agriculture, your farming tools into swords. And these swords are going to be by ICBM nuclear missiles, by fighter jets, by these other instruments of war. All right, that's going to be used in World War III. All right, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. So these other nations have been weak. All right, America has been destroying these people. These other nations have coveted their fields, have went into Iraq, all right, have went into Afghanistan, have went into the different parts of the earth to try to weaken them. And they did weaken them. They wore them out. Just like they wore the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians out. All right, even though these heathens are not us, I'm just proving that these devils are the cancer of the earth. All right, they've been wearing everybody out. They've been making war with everybody. Okay, so beat your plowshares into swords, all your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. All right, now this military, these other nations have gotten stronger. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. So assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, you non-Israelites. All right? So the Lord, he's really the one assembling, because I'm going to read it right here. This Joel chapter 3, verse 1 and 2. For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, all right? Talking about in these times that we're living in now, right? The times that we are living in now, right? The Lord is gathering the tribes together. That's why we got Ezekiel. Well, brothers ain't got to put this on that, but I did. All right, just to remind me that Ezekiel 37 is talking about the tribes coming together, you Israelites, okay? So Salaki. I will also gather, so we're being gathered, right, as a people, and the Lord's saying, look, I will also gather all nations, all right, and we'll bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat. Simultaneously, the Lord is gathering the Israelites, mainly the elect, really is with the first fruits, the elect, right, but he's also gathering these other nations, all right. What? He's gathering these other nations, what? To destroy to destroy themselves. I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat. All right, valley represents a low land. All right, it represents a low land, and Jehoshaphat is Yahweh Mashapat Yomo, Yahweh's judgments. All right, so that's the way the Lord is going to judge these nations, okay? And will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage, Israel. All right, the Lord's heritage are you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, because really the earth really belongs to us. All right, it doesn't belong to these the so-called white men. That's why they're going to be exterminated after 1,000 years, and these other nations after 1,000 years are going to be put back in the proper land. All right, and we're going to rule the whole earth. All right, we're going to execute judgment. If these heathens go off, we're going to execute judgment upon them. Okay? So, and I will plead with them for my people and for my heritage, whom they have scattered among the nations and part of my land. So it's showing you that the Israelites are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, and the Lord has woke us back up and brought us back together. Okay? Salam. All right, so you got the Carmanians, which are Elamites. Go into the history source. Even the Bible scholars here tell you that. Okay? They'll even tell you Gog and Magog are Russia. Matter of fact, I got another article to bring out, but let me just bring this out first. All right, you got so many things happening right now, so there's no excuse of why not to prophesy or even to get into the history or just to be on fire for the truth. You got so many things happening simultaneously. You can't bring everything out at one time. You know what I mean? Brothers come out here for like an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever. But you cannot bring out all this information simultaneously. It's too much to go into. All right, even if you got a group of brothers, it's too much to get into. All right, but still, it comes out because you got other brothers throughout the four winds or the four corners of the earth, proclaiming the truth and prophesying it, but it's too much to get into. All right, but we're going to continue to prophesy until the end. All right, brothers got these specific lots. Okay, that's why there's so much to talk about. If one brother's talking about the C-19, all right, he breaks that down. He goes into scriptures proving what that is and the crap that these devils and what they're trying to do with the nanotechnology. You got other brothers talking about World War III. That brother ain't talking about World War III. You got brothers going into Ezekiel 37 and various topics. So, you got to, prophesy. You can't keep your mouth shut. There's so much to speak about. 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and verse 26. Oh, my bad. Oh, yeah, okay. Verse 26. Let's start at verse 26. For the Lord knoweth all them that sin against him, and therefore delivereth he them unto death and destruction. Going for you 2/3. Okay? For now are the plagues come upon the whole earth, and he shall remain in them. So the Lord is saying the plagues have come upon the whole earth. Famine, pestilence, diseases, wars, and he that go against the Lord shall remain in them. Right? And everybody who goes against the truth are going to remain in those plagues. 2/3, that's why 2/3 already bound to be destroyed on this side, which is 66.6%. All right? Of you Israelites, all right? Of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, you're bound to be destroyed and killed on this side. So the Lord is the one that's bringing that evil upon you. Does the so-called Christian church